Are you ready to embrace the transformative power of taking ownership of your mistakes? Lesson 1. Owning your mistake breaks the ego's illusion. The ego is not your true self. It is a mask. It hides behind pride, fear, and comparison. The ego is always trying to prove that it is perfect. It avoids being wrong. It fears weakness. It fears judgment. It wants to be in control all the time. But Buddhism teaches that clinging to the ego is the cause of suffering. When you make a mistake, the ego tries to protect itself. It blames others. It denies the truth. It covers up faults. It escapes from responsibility. But truth cannot be hidden for long. The longer you hold on to ego, the more pain you carry. Owning your mistake is a powerful act. It is not weakness. It is strength. It means you are no longer afraid of truth. You are no longer afraid of being human. It breaks the illusion that you must always be right. It sets you free from the image you are trying to protect. The Buddha taught that the self is not fixed. It changes. It grows. The moment you admit your mistake, you are letting go of the false self. You are returning to your real self. You are letting go of delusion. This is a step toward awakening. Humility grows when you own your mistake. Pride falls away, and with it, suffering begins to fade. You no longer carry the heavy weight of pretending. You breathe easier. You speak honestly. You feel light inside. Your heart opens. When you drop the ego, wisdom enters. You learn deeply. You see clearly. You understand others better. You become more kind, more patient, more open. People feel safe around you. They trust you more. They feel your peace. Buddhism reminds us that all things are impermanent, mistakes to pass. But what remains is the lesson. What remains is the truth that helped you grow. That truth begins with honesty. It begins with saying, "Yes, I made a mistake." This one sentence shatters the ego's illusion. It is a doorway to self-respect. It is a sign of inner maturity. It is a step toward inner freedom. The moment you speak your truth, you become free. The world may judge you, but your soul does not. Your soul waits for you to come home. Owning your mistake is a way to return home. It is the path of peace. Lesson 2. Responsibility sets you free. Not guilt in Buddhism. Guilt is not seen as useful. It only causes pain. It holds you in the past. It does not help you grow. Guilt is like a chain. It keeps you trapped. It makes your heart heavy. It blocks your inner light. Responsibility, on the other hand, brings freedom. It brings growth. It brings wisdom. It opens the path forward. It is a healing force. Taking responsibility means you are ready to learn. It means you accept what happened. You do not run from it. You walk through it. Buddhism teaches that we are the owners of our actions. This is called karma. Whatever you do, think, or say creates results. These results come back to you, not as punishment, but as a mirror to help you grow. When you take responsibility, you step into this mirror. You see what needs to change. Guilt says, "I am bad." Responsibility says, "I did something wrong, and I will do better." This is a big difference. Guilt keeps you in shame. Responsibility lifts you toward change. The Buddha did not teach shame. He taught awareness. He taught compassion. He taught wise action. When you take responsibility, you stop blaming others. You stop feeling like a victim. You become the master of your path. You start choosing better actions. You become more mindful, more careful, more kind. This is the power of awareness. Responsibility gives you strength. It makes your mind steady. It helps you feel grounded. It gives your heart peace. You do not fear your past. You do not hide. You walk forward with open eyes. The Buddhist path is the path of mindfulness. When you are mindful, you notice your actions. You understand their results. And when you make a mistake, you do not panic. You do not fall into guilt. You take responsibility with calm and kindness. This is true freedom, because you are no longer afraid of your past. You learn from it. You grow from it. You become wiser. This freedom brings joy. It brings deep confidence. You trust yourself again. Guilt will always keep you small. Responsibility will help you rise. The Buddha never asked us to be perfect. He asked us to be awake. And being awake means facing your actions with honesty. Lesson 3. Mistakes teach louder. When you face them, mistakes have something to say. They carry a message. But we can only hear it when we stop running, when we pause, when we look closely. Mistakes are not the end. They are teachers. And their lessons are powerful. In Buddhism, suffering is not to be feared. It is to be understood. When we suffer, it is often because of our own choices. When we deny this, we suffer more. But when we face it, we begin to understand. We begin to learn. A mistake is a signpost. It shows where we lost awareness. It shows where we followed desire, anger, or fear. It shows where we forgot who we are. When you face your mistake, you get to see your own mind. You see what led you there. You see what needs to change. Avoiding mistakes brings ignorance. Facing them brings wisdom. The pain of a mistake carries the seed of awakening. But only if you listen, only if you look. When you sit with your mistake, you feel discomfort. But this discomfort is not your enemy. It is a fire that burns away lies. It is a mirror that shows the truth. You see yourself clearly, and in that clarity, you begin to grow. The Buddha taught that awareness is the path to freedom, and awareness grows through experience. Mistakes give us this experience. When faced with kindness and mindfulness, they transform. They become steps on the path. Mistakes help us build patience. They teach humility. They teach us to forgive. They soften the heart. They make us more human. They bring us closer to others, because everyone makes mistakes. When you face your own, you understand others better. You judge less. You love more. Facing a mistake is not always easy, but it is always healing. It brings peace. It brings clarity. It brings strength. It turns shame into insight. It turns fear into courage. Do not run from your mistakes. Sit with them. Breathe with them. Let them speak. Let them show you the way. In their silence, there is wisdom. In their discomfort, there is transformation. Buddhism does not ask you to be perfect. It asks you to be honest, to be awake, to be present. Mistakes are part of that journey. They are sacred. They are valuable. Lesson 4. Blame delays growth. Truth activates. Blame is a wall. It stops growth. It hides the truth. It keeps you stuck. When you blame others, you give away your power. You refuse to see your part. You stay blind. You stay small. Truth is a mirror. It shows you what is real. It may hurt at first, but it heals deeply. It breaks the chains of ignorance. It opens the heart. It activates growth. The Buddha said truth is the highest path. It leads to freedom. Blame is easy. Truth is brave. Blame feeds the ego. Truth frees the soul. When you blame, you protect your image. When you speak truth, you protect your peace. Blame says, they caused my pain. Truth says, I see my role in this. This is not about guilt. It is about growth. Growth starts when you take full ownership. Even if others did wrong, your healing starts with your own truth. Blaming delays learning. It builds resentment. It builds anger. It builds fear. It makes you feel helpless. But truth builds clarity. Truth builds courage. Truth builds freedom. In Buddhism, truth is sacred. It is one of the 5 precepts. To speak truth is to live in alignment. To speak truth is to live awake. When you avoid truth, you avoid life. You avoid the moment. You avoid your path. Owning the truth is hard, but it is healing. It cleans the mind. It opens the heart. It creates space for change. It breaks the old patterns. It brings light into darkness. Blame keeps you in the past. Truth brings you into the present. Blame keeps you in reaction. Truth brings you into response. Blame is a cycle. Truth is a step forward. When you stop blaming, you become powerful. You take your life back. You stop waiting for others to change. You change yourself. This is the Buddhist path. This is the path of inner freedom. Lesson 5. Facing failure opens. The door to self-trust. Failure is not the end. It is the beginning. It is a teacher. It is a test. It shows you where you stand. It shows you where to begin again. In Buddhism, failure is not shame. It is part of the path. It is a call to wake up. When you face your failure, you build self-trust, because trust is born in truth. When you admit where you fell, you also see where you can rise. You see your strength. You see your honesty. You become your own guide. Avoiding failure weakens you. Facing it strengthens you. It makes your heart steady. It makes your mind calm. You stop running. You stop fearing. You stand still. You breathe. You begin again. The Buddha failed many times before enlightenment. He tried hard paths. He walked through pain. He let go of pride. He let go of false ways. He found the middle way. That path was born from facing failure. When you face your own failure, you find your middle way. You stop going to extremes. You stop punishing yourself. You stop hiding. You become gentle with yourself. You learn balance. Self-trust grows in silence. It grows when you face hard truths. It grows when you sit with your pain. It grows when you forgive yourself. When you see your failure not as an end but a beginning. Buddhism teaches compassion. That starts with yourself. You cannot trust yourself if you hate yourself. You cannot grow if you hide from your truth. Trust comes when you accept yourself as you are, even in failure. Especially in failure. Failure brings wisdom. It makes you humble. It makes you honest. It shows you what matters. It teaches you how to begin again. When you trust yourself, you keep going. Even after falling, even after breaking, you rise. Face your failure with open eyes. Face it with compassion. Face it with courage. Let it teach you. Let it shape you. Let it awaken your trust. This is the path of growth. This is the path of truth. This is the path of peace.